Hey everybody, it's your old pal Steve Moore here, owner of Run More, this fabulous brick and mortar running shop located in Westminster, Maryland. Today we wanted to talk about some of our favorite shoes on a budget. I'll be honest, shoeflation is a real thing in our industry. Like, we talk about it outside of these great videos with other stores. We talk about it like it's a legit problem. We were looking through some of the data, and in the last 4 years, the average shoe cost sold in Run Specialty went from $127, and this year it is $137. And when I first opened my store, it was like $113. So we have just seen every year manufacturers tack another $5 on it, or there's a new great and latest product that you gotta have, and things continue to go up and up. I think one of the most interesting stats that we saw recently here is, for the first time in many years, in Run Specialty shops like mine, the number of socks are down, but the number of over-the-counter inserts, orthotics, products like Superfeet are on the rise, and the common thought is that people are taking shoes and they're trying to extend the life out of them. They're maybe sacrificing some things like a nice pair of socks, but they're trying to find ways to take their trainers to 400, 500, 600 miles because shoes are expensive. So if you're one of those people that are shopping on a budget and you're looking for a shoe for this fall that maybe will take you to some extra PRs, but when you're looking for something without breaking the bank, we have a couple suggestions of some shoes that we carry here that we think are as good or close enough to their high price point counterparts that will make it worthwhile for you to pop on your feet this year. And so the first one I want to get into is this fun shoe. It is the Nova Blast 4 from Asics. I very much like this shoe. It is a shoe that feels like it's got a lot of value. And I say that because as we're gonna get through some of these other shoes, this has the most heft to it. I don't mean heft as terms as weight. I mean heft is like, it feels like there's a lot in this shoe. For a $140 trainer, this feels much more substantial than some of the other shoes in this same category. And I will say, like, the Nova Blast is sort of the, I hate saying JV, but it is the JV version of the Super Blast 2, which is out, which is one of my favorite shoes in my rotation by far right now. They both have a flight foam midsole. This is a little more premium, but they both are designed for like a nice poppy everyday trainer shoe. Maybe this one's going to push as far as mileage goes, but I have run some nice, great double-digit runs in this shoe. I've worn this shoe as an all-day walking shoe for an event that I was at. I've done short stuff, fat stuff. It is a nice all-around shoe at $140. Great width, great volume, great durability. I think that the Nova Blast 4 is an awesome shoe for somebody on a budget, and I really don't see any reason why you wouldn't get 500 miles out of this shoe. Moving on to something a little bit speedier from Brooks, we're going to talk about the new Hyperion GTS and the Hyperion Max. Last year when the Brooks Hyperion Max came out, it was one of my favorite shoes of the year. I did a lot of variety of stuff into it, but I will say when the new version came out, Hyperion 2 Max, I didn't love version 2. I didn't think that it was actually an improvement from the last year version. If you watched my video, I talked about that just the old Hyperion non-Max version, the Hyperion GTS 2 and the Hyperion 2, I thought had all of the same things I liked in the first version, but for $140. Has that same midsole, has that same glidey sensation. It's nice, it's very light. Same thing, I've done speed work in it, I've done 10-mile plus runs into it. Even though it doesn't have a lot of stack height and cushion to it, it performs as if it does. And it does. If I close my eyes, this felt like what I paid for last year with the Hyperion Max, except a much better price point. Don't shy away from the Hyperion 2. Even though it looks super minimal, I think you can do a lot more variety of things in this shoe than it might appear to. The Hyperion 2 GTS. From our wild card category, Ultra is a very, it's a very hit or miss brand with a lot of people. People have a lot of strong thoughts one way or the other on it, but you really can't beat what the Escalante is. This version Escalante 4, this super minimal shoe that I always say looks like a skateboard shoe, there's not a whole lot to it. It packs quite a punch with cushion. And for people that are in that minimal feeling vibe, like I want to be able to feel the ground, I don't want a whole lot of support, I just want something that feels like an extension of my foot. I want a slipper mixed with a running shoe. You're not going to do much better than the $130 Escalante. Not only does it have their same midsole material that they're using in their high price point stuff, like the nice Ego midsole that has that nice, soft, responsive bounce to it, but it feels way more cushion than it looks. Usually when you put on a minimal shoe, like it's a minimal shoe, but this shoe pops on and it feels like you're almost wearing something higher end, like a Torrent or something from Ultra, but for $130. Guy I run with every week, we do a 10-mile Sunday run. He wears this every week for a 10-mile run. I have a customer here who did the JFK 50-miler in Escalantes. It's a shoe that you see on people's feet running longer than you would expect when this shoe was looked at it. So if you're somebody in that minimal category or looking for more of a casual shoe that you can still pop on and run comfortably in for miles and miles, the Escalante 4, $130, kind of hard to beat it. For an everyday trainer, and I think that's one of the things that has caused shoeflation, quite frankly, is that these brands are coming out with shoes with such performance midsoles and packaging them as everyday trainers that there's a little bit of keeping up with the Joneses in it. And I will say, like, quite honestly, it's one of the things I don't like about the running industry right now, is that there has certainly become this have and have nots when it comes to running shoes. You're towing up to the line on somebody at a local 5K and you're looking down at $250 carbon plated racing shoes. Like, it's not a fair fight anymore. It was one of the things I always liked about running as opposed to the cycling industry, where there was such a chasm between a $6,000 bike and then the entry-level position bike. And I hate to say it, but we're starting to see more and more of that in running. So when you find an everyday trainer like the New Balance 880 that feels and performs much like its expensive counterpart, the 1080, like, that's a great value. And I think New Balance, of all the shoes that I've put on this year, I've thought the New Balance lineup has been better than any other brands that we carry. And the 880, while it doesn't have all the performance bells and whistles as some of their like super comp trainers and such, if you're somebody who just likes the everyday feel of an everyday trainer without all the expensive bells and whistles and rolls and super critical, blown midsole, all that kind of stuff, the 880 has been a spectacular option for people. There's a lot of old school people out there that just want to feel a shoe that can run into the ground. It is not overly slappy. It is not overly heavy. It's something that has nice cushion to it, and this has that Fresh Foam X midsole that New Balance uses in a lot of their shoes. The durability, the cushion, the width, the performance. The 880, as far as like an everyday traditional mid-cushion shoe with a non-performance midsole, to me, this is the #1 shoe in that category. You can beat the crap out of an 880 and feel good about it. It's gonna fit a variety of feet. It's gonna have a variety of widths. This is a great all-around trainer for somebody who's old school like me and just wants a traditional trainer. So I know there's a lot of great other shoes out there in that price point category, but for us, these are the ones that we've sort of been guiding people to when they come to us with, look, I've got a budget, but I'm a serious runner and I need to take care of my shoes, to take care of me, across the finish line. I think all of these shoes can do well on your feet for a variety of things this fall. If you have some other great price point shoes, feel down to leave them down below. There's a lot of people out there that are looking to extend their running career and they don't maybe have the budget to go buy the $200 shoes that are out there right now. So help a brother out, leave some information down there, and let's all share the wonderful shoes that are out there in the world. Hey, if you find yourself in the greater Westminster, Maryland area, stop on by and say hello. There's an excellent chance that you'll see me here. And if you want to purchase any of these fine products, we'll have a link down below. It'll head you over to our website. If you enter promo code RUNMORE, you'll save 10% and we'll ship them out for free. Thanks so much for watching. Happy running, and we'll see you around town.